every single transaction indeed needs very careful consideration. Well, what I was blessed with was running this business and finding out exactly how to build a home from the ground up.
Welcome to Burger Points with Chris Berger, real estate agent and business owner. Here's Chris discussing his 20 years as a real estate agent and how he specializes in helping first-time home buyers.
My name is Chris Berger, and I am a local real estate agent in New York, located about 60 miles north of New York City, but have been very active in real estate for the past 20 years. But along that journey, I've learned many things regarding to how people react to buying a house, to selling a house, and the emotions that you have to go through and the support that you need. One of the things that I noticed over the past few years is that every single transaction indeed needs very careful consideration, both from the buyer and seller, from the real estate agents involved, and their attorneys. It's really very important that you get your support in order to make the transaction complete.
Okay, so Chris, I know that you ran a home masonry business for about 20 years with your cousin. Can you tell us more about what was involved with that?
Well, what I was blessed with was running this business and finding out exactly how to build a home from the ground up. And in that process, it became a love of mine. So virtually, I learned every phase of building a house. And there's nothing like experience, because people can tell you things and it really doesn't mean very much. But until you experience it yourself, then it really grabs hold. And at 21 years of age, my wife and I were married, and we decided to build a house. And I often joked that if a marriage can survive building a house, you can survive anything. And that really goes along with buying or selling a house, because again, it gets to be very emotional. But over those 20 years, the countless people that I was able to help with their problems, and also too, they helped me because I had that experience of learning what they were going through. And that led to my love of continuing in real estate to this age.
So your love of real estate and having your business, successfully run for 20 years rubbed off on your family, I know, because your youngest son is now a home fixer and flipper. Do you want to talk a little more about that? He's
done a great job, being that he always had a knack of wanting to do things. And after he graduated from school from the University of New Hampshire, he then went on to become a real estate agent himself. And he's still very much active today, but he has gravitated to buying and selling homes. And I'm simply amazed because the reputation he has developed for putting the quality of work into a home has spread. And currently, he bought a house 3 or 4 months ago. And today, it's finished. It's on the market for a whole 3 days, and he's entertaining the offers now. But again, what he has learned through real estate and the experience of actually redoing or rebuilding a house has been immense for him. And that transfers into money. And in addition to that, it's helped me with a great deal of knowledge.
So if a first-time home buyer came to you looking to buy a home, how would you first approach it? What are the kind of questions you would ask, and what is the kind of information that you need from them to get that process started?
Well, one of the things that really is the first question is their time frame, because personally, I want to help them the best way I can. And if their time frame is a year, then that sort of instructs me or directs me what to tell them. If it's 6 months, then we go in another direction. Again, and if it's 3 months, we go a little bit faster. But the bottom line is that I, as a real estate, and you should really look for this in all of real estate agents, our responsibility is to look out for the best interests for you, not for me. It's not about me making money. It's about you finding the right home.
Okay. And so you mentioned time frames. What's the difference between a first-time home buyer having 3 months before they need to find something and a year?
Well, let's say that first-time home buyer, all right, is renting and their lease is up in 3 months. So they're under a crunch. So the first thing that I would tell them is that they should go to their landlord and see if they can live month to month after their lease expires. Because by doing that, that will take that pressure, it's enormous pressure off of them that they have to be out. One of the problems for all buyers and sellers is where to go once they consummate a deal. So the first thing that I would tell them is that they have to get pre-approval. Pre-approval is a very easy thing to do. They can go to their bank or any mortgage company and give them their information. And within that day or the next day or 24 hours, they will have that pre-approval.
Okay, that's great information. When you talk about pre-approval and how it's easy, someone may be concerned that if they have bad credit, that they may not be easily approved. Can you maybe give us some information in how you've gone about that?
Well, there's always, a silver lining. So, for example, I worked with someone who didn't file their income taxes for 4 years or 5 years. And they were so distraught and so stuck that they didn't file. So we contacted together an accountant. They filed their income taxes. They, once it was filed, we were able to go to a pre-approval company and started the process. But instead of being stuck and never being able to buy a house, they made that first move. And once they did that, it starts momentum and you feel better about yourself and you move forward.
So how does that look like in terms of the process with the bank then? If you help them move forward, how did that go? How did it physically sort of show up in their dealings with the bank?
Well, no longer was filing their income tax a problem for them or a black mark on their credit. So that was eliminated. And of course, if they have, multiple dings on their credit, that can be rectified too. You can do that personally, although some people do choose to go to an outside company and challenge Experian or the credit agencies. And once you actually bring the attention to the credit companies of a ding or a black mark, they have 30 days to respond. And A, they will either respond, or B, they won't respond. And after 30 days, that mark has to be removed.
Okay, this is really good information because a lot of people are very intimidated by this process. And if they get into some trouble with their credit, they really don't know where to turn. So can you give us some more specific details on exactly how the person that you helped, he was able to get pre-approved and it cleared up his credit?
Oh, absolutely, because I remember it very distinctly. And again, once my client made the decision to move forward and file his taxes, that was the stopping point. Once he moved forward with the accountant, his taxes were completed within 48 hours. It was then submitted to the IRS, and the accountant himself was able to contact the IRS on his client's behalf and resolve the problem quickly. Within 3 days. It was signed off on, and at this point, my client was able to go and get his pre-approval. Now, one thing you have to remember, it's just that my client, once he made the decision to move forward, he was able to get an answer. And that's for all of us, because we're all in this box. And if we fear getting out of the box, we're just not going to move ahead. But he wanted to buy that home. He had his heart set on it, and that's what motivated him. And that the ends will always justify the means.
So I know that you specialize in dealing with first-time buyers. Can you tell us what is the most common concerns or questions?
Well, it's to me, it just seems more about emotion. It's the point where the process can be so intimidating for some people that you want to give up. So you really have to go to that source of support, whether it be your husband or wife, whether it be your children, a good friend, or the real estate agent, to help you guide you through the process. Because once you make up that decision to buy a house, then you're on your way. And there are about 7 or 8 steps that need to be done before you finally close. And just even helping my own daughter buy a house, halfway through, she said to me, "What am I doing? I don't know if I can do this." And by telling her that as an adult and standing on her own 2 feet and doing this, the reward of getting that home will match anything she had to put into it. So I guess my biggest answer, or the most important answer, is getting that support where you feel comfortable with the person advising you.
Okay, that's a great point. So, in particular, what types of questions can a first-time home buyer ask a real estate agent to find out whether or not they are the right person to help them find their home?
Well, I think one of the first questions has always been as far as price range. And I know that relates back to asking me, the real estate agent, if I'm the best person to help you. Once we determine your price range, then you can simply ask me or that other agent, have you dealt in that area? Have you dealt with people who buy the lower end of homes? Have you dealt with people buying the middle end? What's your high end? What was your biggest sale? And I kind of like to brag because I was like a hero. I did $1 million sale. And everyone thought I was like the greatest thing walking on two feet. It was far from the truth, okay? Because the process was the same. It was just me being there, supporting my client. Every question that they had, if I didn't know the answer, I told them I would find out and communicate with them very quickly. And that made the difference, and that's why I got the $1 million sale.
Visit burgerpoints.wordpress.com for more information and to contact Chris Berger. Thank you for listening.